Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome to Russ Can Fly live. So hopefully we are doing what we need to do here. I am using a completely different platform than I used last time, and so I'm hoping that everything is going. I just want to see, what's happening, what's going on. I hope everything is good, and I'm just so excited. Like I got all of like this nervous energy, and there's just so many different pieces that are going on. Using a different platform, you can see StreamYard. I don't know much about it, but I'm just trying it. This is my only third live, but it looks like we are doing. I see from One Dog Geek. I did. You can hear me and see me, and that is fantastic. And I'm just so excited. So I'm not going to keep people long before I dive in, because I definitely got a few things that I want to talk about. So I did write a little agenda. So first we're going to talk about a activity where we might actually be able to do a meet and greet. Wings and Wheels at Wings Field. We'll talk about that. We will then talk about something that I think will be interesting. That one of the dangers in the cockpit is carbon monoxide poison and some other things. And thanks, everybody. Let me know I'm good to go. Thank you for letting me know. So we're going to talk about this pulse oximeter that I got sent to me that I'm actually going to try in a flight video. And that flight video is going to be coming up not this coming Friday, because we got to finish Martha's Vineyard. I'm hoping next Friday to do this flight with this technology that actually measures your blood oxygen content, which is really, really critical. So if this thing works the way it purports to do, it'll be great. So we'll talk more about this. And then finally, what I want to do is I want to do a deep dive into my Martha's Vineyard flight. So I'm going to pull up ForeFlight. I'm going to show you the waypoints that I picked from Northeast Philadelphia, Papa November Echo, to Martha's Vineyard Airport, Mike Victor Yankee, and go through that. And then just kind of explain some of the experiences that I had flying at 9,500 feet, because it was really interesting. And there's this one story that I definitely want to tell. All right. So without further ado, let's see who we have so far. I see Rich, the Michael Carter Show, One Dog Geek, Black Aviator 2021, Miss G. Hey, what's going on, sis? Thank you guys all for joining me. I definitely appreciate you guys being here. And the one thing that I can tell already is that StreamYard is keeping it from being as pixelated and glitchy and all that kind of stuff. So let's jump right into it. So first on the agenda, I want to pull this up. I should have pulled this up before I got on, but what can I say? I'm still trying to figure out how to, get myself together here. All right, Wings and Wheels. Let's see if it comes up. Wings and Wheels. Here we go. I think this is it. No, that was not what I want. So at any rate, and I want to get the times and stuff like that. So I'm sorry for, hey, Rich, hey, viewers, glasses, purple, yellow, diamond. So this is like so wild. So at any rate, let me see. So I'm trying to pull up this Wings and Wheels. Wings and Wheels. Let's do Wings and Wheels. Wings Field. And I started to get a flyer, but I didn't want to take them. There wasn't a lot around. I didn't take and stuff. So, but the thing that's cool is, so here's what Wings and Wheels benefits. It is a organization called Angel Flight. Now, this one is Angel Flight East. So Angel Flight, if you don't know, if you've never heard of it, you should check them out, and think about making a small donation. But So say a child has um, some form of like cancer or some other um, medical issue for which they need to see a specialist. This particular child lives in, let's say, I don't know, Oklahoma, but the specialist is, here in Philadelphia. Well, what Angel Flight East will do is they provide flights from pilots like me and some others to, come and pick the family up and fly them to like the Ronald McDonald House, what have you. And it's such an amazing organization. But this Wings and Wheels it's like the 30th, and you can see here trying to hold this up. So if you see this Wings and Wheels, it is happening at Wings Field. I did a video last year on the event. It is in there, and if I can, one of these days I'll figure out how to do all of this neat stuff where I can pull things into the screen and stuff. So bear with me as I kind of learn the platform. But suffice it to say, Wings and Wheels, September 9th. It'll be from 11 to 4 p.m. And the ticket purchase basically supports this Angel Flight East, which is a chapter of Angel Flight, which again provides these flights to people who are sick. And it's not even children, sometimes it's adults. The greatest one that I heard was there was a gentleman and he needed a transplant. And so not only did they fly him, but I think they flew the organ to the place where he was getting the transplant. And, the commercial availability of that type of flight was very limited. So he was able to, get on that airplane, private pilot, all of that kind of stuff through, through Angel Flight East. So if you are in the area, Wings Field, Kilo Lima Oscar Mike is where the event will be taking place, and I will be there. And I'll have some iteration of, a Russ Can Fly shirt or whatever. And definitely, if you're coming, make it a point to find me. I want to meet you. I want to talk to you. I want to see you, all of that kind of stuff. So make sure, that you're there. And again, the cost is $10 for adults, and $5 for kids. There's going to be cars and different airplanes. There's going to be stuff for kids to do. I mean, it is like a serious event. For those who don't know, it's located at 1501 Narcissa Road, Bluebell, PA 19422. Again, that is 1501 Narcissa Road, Bluebell, PA 19422. Definitely hope to see you there. Like I said, an amazing event. And like I said, proceeds benefit Angel Flight East. And it's definitely a worthy cause. Plus, if we get a chance to hang out, that'll be even better. So because remember last time we talked that live, we were talking about having a meet and greet, still trying to figure this out. So I figured, hey, this event will be the perfect way to do my first kind of meet and greet. So hopefully if you're anywhere in the Philadelphia tri-state area, definitely come check it out. Tickets are only $10 for adults, $5 for kids. All right, so let's see who's in the comments. One Dog Geek, too bad his airplane is in annual. Sorry to hear that. Maceo, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Rich is asking me if I'm wearing my Samoa scarf. No, not on the island. Not trying to see Jeff Probst, any of that kind of stuff. So, I'm good. And so everybody, thank you for, joining me. So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. Definitely let me know if you're coming. Drop a comment down in the comments, and all of that kind of stuff. And, hope to see you there. Okay, so second part of the agenda is, so many of you pilots or people who are enthusiasts know. Let me see. I forgot to get one. Russ, my man, happy to see you this far in aviation from Matt Matiska. Matiska. Anyway, thank you so much. And I will say that before I go on to the next item, I just am so floored at the support that all of you guys have been giving me on this journey, on this channel. I mean, it is absolutely amazing, and I can't thank you all enough. It's one of those things where if you would have said to me 5 years ago, Russ, you're going to get interested in aviation, you're going to start taking flight lessons, you're going to get your pilot's license. Oh, and by the way, as a middle-aged dude, you're going to create a YouTube channel and start doing all of this social media stuff, including going live. I would have thought that, you really got a hold of some really bad substances. But yeah, I mean, here we are. And a lot of what's happening and a lot of the things that I've been able to do is through all of you supporting the channel, sending me phenomenal comments, ideas for videos. I mean, this has been amazing. And I never in a million years would have saw myself doing something like this. All right. So Rich, glad that you're going to be there. Brother Anderson, glad to see you. Got to do some flying, brother. Can't wait to do some of that. Okay, so we already talked about wings and wheels. Let's go to Vibeat. VIBEAT. So I'm not going to open this right now because this is going to be part of a video that I'm going to make that is going to be something like, I'm trying to figure out a title. And if you come up with a title about, low oxygen in the cockpit or carbon monoxide or danger in the cockpit, I'm dying or something like that. If you have a title recommendation, definitely welcome. But here's the thing. So there's definitely been times where I've flown in the winter. I try to fly all year round just because I just love flying so much. But there's definitely been times where I've been in the cockpit and I've turned the heat on, and a lot of times there'll be this small little like card thing, and it says like carbon monoxide, and then there's like a little ring, and I guess if there's carbon monoxide present, it'll like turn darker red or something like that. As you can see, I really don't even know how that works, which is kind of dangerous because carbon monoxide poisoning is a real thing when you're flying in the wintertime and you're using heat, because that heat exchanger can have a crack and that could be allowing CO into the cockpit. But the other thing is there's Sentries that have a carbon monoxide detector. I don't have one of those either. But here's the thing. Carbon monoxide is not the only issue where your dissolved blood oxygen levels could be compromised. And we'll talk a little bit more about this when we talk about the flight to Martha's Vineyard. But if you look at the FAR-AIM, the Federal Aviation Regulations, it talks about when you're supposed to have, oxygen at certain flight levels and whatnot. So a lot of that has to do with, what do your blood oxygen levels look like, and whether or not you're kind of experiencing some incapacitation things. One Dog Geek just said he made a video about CO. He's a big fan of a standalone CO electronic detectors. He had one of those and convinced it saved his life. So very, very key. So it's against that backdrop where it was very fascinating. A company sent this out to me. Now, no, I am not sponsored by this company. And when I talk about this in the actual video, I am going to do a deep dive. And, if this thing sucks, I'm going to say it sucks. If it works well, I'm going to say it works well. But apparently, this company has this thing called an oxy ring. And the deal supposedly is that when you wear this ring, you can, patch this with your phone. Oh, my baby sent a text message. Anyway, got distracted. So you can basically pair this with your cell phone. And what it does is it's supposed to send data about your dissolved blood oxygen levels to an app that you pair with with your phone. And so I'm curious about this. And it was interesting. It was the first time like a company reached out and said, "Hey, we've got this thing. We would like you to try it." And I thought, all right, well, that's interesting. Go ahead, send it to me, and I'll give it a shot. And it's the product name is called Pulse Oximeter. And I don't know much about it. And as you can see, I haven't opened the box. It's still got the plastic in it and all that kind of stuff. My plan is to open this box when it's time to do the actual flight video. So there'll be a whole unboxing or whatever. And I'm going to fly with it, and I'm going to see what my dissolved blood oxygen looks like and stuff like that, and whether or not this is something that folks would be interested in having, especially given the fact that we are getting ready to change seasons. It is now September 2nd. The summer is almost ending, and it's going to be getting to that time where we're going to be flying in airplanes with everything closed and the heat on and all of that kind of stuff. And so I want to make sure that we have all the tools that we can have to protect ourselves in that situation. And so if this thing does what it purports to do, then we're going to be in good shape. So you'll be hearing more about this. Black Aviator 2021 says, I need one of those. One night when I was flying the Diamond DA40 XLT, I started feeling funny to the point where the last leg of my flight was a little side window, the pilot side. So I guess he, got some oxygen there. So yeah, I definitely want to, make sure, I jump on this and see what's going on. And, this will be one of those things where if this does what it purports to do, I'm going to definitely be saying, hey, listen, I'm going to put a link down in the descriptions, down in the comments, down in the description of the video. And I'm going to recommend this product because that will be something that you definitely want to have if you're flying, especially in the wintertime, or you're flying at higher altitudes. You just want to kind of know what's going on with your blood oxygen level. And this would be great. So the idea is I'm going to try to take my cell phone, try to figure out how to, I think I have an X clamp that I'm going to put in the plane and, connect these two and see what it looks like. So you'll be hearing more about that, but I wanted you guys live to hear, what's coming down the pike in terms of that video and what's happening. And I wanted people to hear that, this is not a company that is sponsoring me. They sent me the product, but it's not, a paid promotion. They sent it to me to give it a test. And so you'll be seeing more about that in the near future. All right. So Mike Carter said it's cold already in certain parts of the States. That is true. Reginald DeRico, sorry I'm late. It's all good. Michael Carter Show, what's up? Okay, so we're cooking along. Now, there's one thing I want to do. I want to do an experiment here before I get into the meat and potatoes, of this live. And it's really to do a deep dive of my flight planning and the flight that I did to Martha's Vineyard. So, but before I do that, while I have you guys as my captive audience here, I want to try to do something real quick. I'm just going to see if this, let me see what happens Um, all right, so Michael Carter show. All right, that's the person who's on. We got Reginald Dorico. Thank you for showing up. And let me see how that. And I'm showing you this because these are other YouTube channels that you can kind of check out. And you can see some of the comments that they sent. I mean, this is actually kind of cool. And then here's my brother Maceo Thompson. And I'm going to say my brother, let me see, I'm going to put this up here because this is a better one. My brother, One Dog Geek, definitely check out his YouTube channel. And as you can see, he made a video talking about carbon dioxide. You should go and check that out. And, you know, I think it's important. And let's see. Is this a CO2 detector monitor? From what I can discern is it is not, Matt. I'm just going to say Matt. Hopefully that's fine. But no, Matt, I think what this is it's really measuring the dissolve. So it's not detecting the presence of CO necessarily, but it is looking at, you know, what's happening with your dissolved blood oxygen. So I believe you want to see something like 92% or whatever. I'll have more of that, you know, under my belt. But apparently, you know, it'll, you know, if it starts getting low, it's probably time to get down. And who else? Who haven't I put on here yet? This is Rich. This is Rich. And somebody actually put the address for Wheels and Wings, and I wanted to find that comment. So as you can see, I'm still working my way through all of this stuff. And again, I am not a StreamYard, and again, they're not doing anything, but I can tell you, if any of my other small aviation YouTubers are thinking about going live, definitely check out StreamYard. It definitely made life a lot easier. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Just playing with these different buttons and just pushing stuff. All right. So let me go down. There's some new comments. Will the links, let me see. Reginald Dorico, will the links be posted? I follow Aviate, but I do not have the links to others that you mentioned. Thanks. You know, I'll try to see if I can't get that, you know, get that going. You know, definitely try to do that. Hey, Astro Cricket, what's up? What's up to you? All right, I love this little click thing because I can just click on these things. That's kind of awesome. All right, so let's get to the heart and the meat of this live. So many of you know, and if you haven't seen that video, I've took a flight from Northeast Philadelphia Airport, Kilo Papa November Echo, and I flew to Martha's Vineyard. Amazing island, Massachusetts, just a phenomenal place to go, and it was just amazing. Hey, Tybis, how you doing? So took a flight there, and I was really nervous about the flight because I'm going to go to my flight plan here. I want to just kind of give you some of the criteria. So the flight itself was 219 nautical miles. It was going to use 21 or 22 gallons of fuel. And we were going to have like an 8 knots headwind, you know, at that point. And it was slated to take like 2 hours. Now, I have flown, you know, a couple hours before, but it was one of those things where it was overland, it was over the mountain. So that's when I flew to Pittsburgh to go see my mama. But this one was going to be over a lot of water. And if you remember back before, I did a flight to Tangier Island down in Virginia, that was over water as well. And so that was one of the considerations because I knew I was going to be flying over some water. But how could I minimize that amount of time that I was going to be over open water in the event that the engine quit, right? So I did have life preservers in the back of the plane, but listen, the last thing I want to do is be like, okay, wife, just want to let you know we're about to crash into the ocean, so put on this life preserver. I mean, that would have been, we would have figured it out, we would have done what we needed to do, but that was definitely not the best option. I wanted to find an airplane, an airfield that I could get to. The other thing that I considered is what would be my level of flight. All right. So I'm flying, I think it was a 060 flight path out of Northeast. So basically almost east, 090, somewhere around there. So because I was flying east, east is least. So east is odd. So it's going to be an odd plus 500. So I had to do at least 7,500 because around New York, and I'll show you this on ForeFlight, the ceiling for the Bravos out there is 7,000 feet. So I had to deal with the Bravos, I had to deal with the water, and I wanted several waypoints that were over airfields. I wanted to be over an airfield in the event that that engine quit. So I'm going to show you what my flight plan looked like. All right. And so hopefully I can read this backwards. So, okay, here. All right. So these are, wait a minute. This is the wrong way. All right, cool. All right. So this is my flight plan to Martha's Vineyard, and hopefully you can see this. So you see KP&E, Creel, Robert Moses, Twin Bridge, then a bunch of airports: Hotel Whiskey, Virginia, Juliet Papa X-Ray, Mike Tango Papa, Bravo, Indigo Delta, Falma, and then on to Martha's Vineyard. All right, so let's break this down piece by piece. All right, so here is where it all starts. So I start, one of these days I'm going to figure out which way to go on this. All right, so here's where it starts, right? Wait, let me take this flight plan off. Okay. And make this a little bit bigger. All right. So hopefully you can see this. All right, so as you can see, that's KP&E. It's a Class Delta airport, and it has runways 3-3, and then there's a 2-4 and 6. Luckily, I was able to take off 3-3. And one of the things that I had to be concerned about taking off is I definitely had to watch for that shelf at 3,500. So I knew that I had to stay at about 3,000 feet until I got out of the Bravo. And for those non-pilots out there, that blue ring that you see, anything inside that airspace is controlled, and it's called Bravo airspace. It's basically the airspace around Philadelphia International Airport, and I'll show you, what that looks like. So it's basically controlling this. So see those blue boxes? That's Philadelphia International Airport. So they definitely want to control all of the traffic that is flying through that area. All right. So I take off, and my first leg, I chose first waypoint was Creel. Now, what's interesting, the reason why I chose that is I wanted to stay, let me zoom in a little bit. I wanted to stay as close to the shore as possible. I wanted to use a designated waypoint that I could find number one. And number two, I didn't want to go into that inner ring. I just didn't want to get too close because this inner ring here is for JFK. All right. So that's what I'm dealing with there. That's JFK Airport. So that's the Bravo that I'm dealing with. But I'm also concerned about how far over the Atlantic that I want to be, because if you see that zipper line and you see that line where it's at that big, jet, that's a jet airway. And so there's a lot going on there that I had to be concerned about. So I wanted to be, in a place where I could figure out a specific waypoint, but not too far out into the ocean. And I wanted to be in a place where, I could still get to land as I wanted to do. Now, here's the thing, before I forget, remember, I have to fly at either at least 7,500 feet, but I decided to fly at 9,500 feet. Yes, excuse me. I was 500 feet below 10,000 feet, highest I've ever flown. I'm going to talk about that because that was interesting. But I wanted to be at 9,500 feet because, using FloorFlight, one of the things I noticed is when I got to Creel, if the engine quit, I still had enough glide space at that waypoint at 9,000 feet to get to an emergency JFK. And I just would have called him. Listen, my engine's out. I'm coming. Move out of my way. So that's why I chose Creel, Charlie, Romeo, Echo, Lima, for that waypoint. The other thing is that waypoint allowed me to measure what this distance and time would be in fuel usage. Because remember, you want to know all those things. So I knew when I was supposed to be getting to Creel, how long it was going to take me, how much fuel, and that kind of stuff. So if things got hairy and it was taking too long, I knew, okay, I'm using more fuel. I've got some issues. So that's why I did that. And that waypoint came up. And even though it's an IFR, I think, waypoint, I decided to use it anyway in my VFR flight plan. Oh, and one other thing. When I did this flight plan, I actually filed it. And before I took off, I actually activated it because I wanted to make sure that if something came up and we weren't there, I wanted Flight Service Center to be looking for us. And we'll talk about, you haven't seen this video yet, but Flight Service Center did look for us on the way back because we had a heck of a headwind, but that's another story. So that was my first waypoint, was Creel. Then from there, I chose another IFR flight, waypoint, which was also part of a VFR reporting point as well. So see the flag? So that Robert Moses Causeway was another waypoint that I chose. And at that point, the reason why I'm going there is I wanted for this second leg between Creel and Robert Moses to be going towards land at this point. Because see, now I don't have to worry about that other shelf because I'm now at 9,500 feet at this point. So I'm not too concerned about airspaces that I'm in. But I'm more, concerned about where am I over land. And at this point, I'm pretty comfortable because I'm over land. I'm at the airports, and I'm good. So that next waypoint was Robert Moses Causeway. And my next emergency airport based on that waypoint, I don't know why this is blanking out on me, was Long Island MacArthur Airport. So that was going to be the next place that I was going to land at if it was an issue. And you can see the blue line down there. That's my flight plan line. So that's why I chose that waypoint. And now I am comfortably over land. The next waypoint was another airport, Brookhaven Airport, Hotel Whiskey Victor. And again, that was another one of those, hey, if something happens, this is where I'm going to be. Now, what would have been interesting is I'm at 9,500 feet at this point. So I would have definitely had to lose a lot of altitude, but I just would have basically declared an emergency and did a lot of circling until I got down to, a place where I can land. But at this point, you can see I'm comfortably over land and over airports at this point. Then you can see the line kind of goes from that airport, and I'm still flying northeast. And I didn't use this airport, but I did note it in terms of, all right, when I was flying, I was looking for that, that kind of situation. Going to say contrast between darker room and iPad is pausing and blanking out. Okay, I'll try to figure that out. Actually, I was going to get up and turn the light on, but I don't want to just like walk away. But thanks, Glenn, for letting me know. And I'll definitely know that for next time. I'm learning all of this kind of stuff. So my next waypoint was East Hampton Town Airport. And in relation to the other waypoint, you can see it's like a line of the very, future look up, screen sharing capability in StreamYard, and then maybe you can use ForeFlight on the web, share a plane. Yeah, that's true. This is a excellent comment. I'll definitely try that for next time. And I'll definitely practice. But that's an excellent comment. So at any rate, so that's the next waypoint was East Hampton, and then we have Montauk, Mike Tango Papa, and then this is where it got funny. I went back over water, but I was at 9,500 feet. So Block Island, where I want to go, I definitely want to kind of check this place out for sure. Amazing. I heard amazing little place, but I was able to, I could have gone, from my previous waypoint here to Block Island, between those two islands, I could have gone there and back with the engine completely out. That was the beauty of being able to fly at 9,500 feet. Let me see. Where can I contact you for a personal question? Even on Patreon. I don't have Patreon yet. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm working on that, Zero Cool. Maybe that's one of those things where somebody can help me in the future, but I'm still figuring out all of that kind of stuff. But thank you for even, thinking about, the whole Patreon thing, but certainly feel free to contact me on, any of the videos. You can always ask me a personal question or hit me up on my Instagram, at RussKid. Yeah, at RussKid35. I believe it's my Instagram. So feel free to reach out. All right. So this is where it gets interesting. So at this point, I run out of airports, right? Because I am still flying east at this point, but I'm definitely getting closer to Martha's Vineyard. So I chose another IFR waypoint, FAMA, Foxtrot Alpha, Lima, Mike Alpha. And I chose that because, again, if you look up to the, so if you look at FAMA and you go up this way, I'm still able to glide to land there. So that's why I chose FAMA. But then once I hit FAMA, I have enough time to get to some of these islands down here at 9,500 feet. But the other thing that it did is it set me up for a nice, so I'm west of Martha's Vineyard, and I'm ready to, call on in. And so that was my last waypoint, and I came on into Martha's Vineyard. I believe I was cleared to land on runway 24. And so he basically, when I came in, he put me on a right downwind. So he asked me to report midfield right downwind for runway 24. I came in, and I'm going to tell you, when I got over that island, I mean, man, that wind was blowing like crazy. Um, and I was just so happy about being in a low wing aircraft, because I know it could be a huge debate, but as far as I'm concerned, low wing aircraft just seem to handle crosswinds and swirling winds and all that kind of stuff so much better than a high wing, the Cessna. And listen, I'm not mad at Cessnas. I trained on them, loved them. I will always fly them. But in terms of like dealing with like winds, the characteristic of that wing just seems to do a little bit better job. Just in my humble opinion, in terms of that kind of stuff. So came in runway 24 and an absolute breezer. So it was an incredible flight. If there's anybody in the area that wants to do that flight and wants me to share, that flight plan, with them, definitely willing to do that, because it's a flight that if you're in the Northeast, there's just something affirming about it in terms of making you feel like you're just like this real pilot. And it's not like what, am I a fake pilot, just because I haven't flown, but I felt like I was like this real pilot. Like I flew my wife somewhere and we went somewhere and we did things. And it was just, very amazing. But, as you can see, it took a lot of careful planning. Thank the Lord, the weather was, cooperative. Kennedy did pop into my mind a couple times, and it was, it was crazy. So if anybody's interested, like I said, I can definitely share that, that flight plan, and definitely make it happen. Glenn Watson, high wing more exposed below the wing if you're not on top of your crosswind technique. That's definitely true. So that's pretty much it. I don't know if anybody has any questions. You can drop something in the comments or definitely things in the chat. But that was pretty much what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to share that flight plan. And the thing about it is, I knew at each leg, true course, magnetic course, I knew time between each leg, I knew fuel usage, all of that kind of stuff. And, it definitely made all the difference. So Fort Flight is an amazing tool. Use all of its capabilities. I definitely want to, encourage you to do that. And Brothers Grimm show, you're right. It was an amazing time. The only thing that was kind of, unfortunate is we had to leave, but yeah, and that's the only thing about renting aircraft. And I won't get into buying an airplane because I go down this crazy rabbit hole and think about making my family destitute with some of these airplanes that I'm looking at. So One Dog Geek asks, so how's the instrument stuff going? You still working on that? Excellent question. So I am going to confess that I kind of gave up on it for a second. And I'm not exactly sure like why that is. It's not that I'm not interested, but it seemed like it was kind of like getting in the way a little bit of stuff. And so I kind of backed away from it a little bit. But suffice to say, not in September, my daughter is launched into her study abroad program. I think I'll have more time to like pick it up. So that's something that's definitely going to be coming back on the radar screen. So stay tuned for that. And just like any of my other flight videos, I'm definitely going to make sure that I make all of that stuff available as well. And yeah, we're just going to continue the journey. So that's all I have. We're 45 minutes in, believe it or not, and I've been yakking. And I'll just leave, 3 more minutes for any other questions. But just know that next week, let me see, what is this? Will you be dropping links to do panels? Yes. So one of the things I'll probably be reaching out to you folks is try how to do all of that kind of stuff. And you know, just all of these, like, because I want to pull people in. I want to figure out how to like make somebody, like if I wanted to pull Mike in, like how do I do that? Like I'd like to be able to pull him in just to kind of say hi to everybody, or One Dog Geek or Zero Man. Would love to be able to do that and just kind of have people say hi. That would definitely be awesome. So those are definitely some of the things that I'm looking forward to next time. And then Mike said, and will make us moderators. Absolutely. Sometimes I'll put somebody on here, and like you interview me or you take over, so I'm not the one doing all the daggone talking, and all that good stuff. So let me see, ZXR92. I think now I might have to rent for the foreseeable future. So instrument is on hold. Yeah, still need private check ride. Private check ride schedule. Cool. Good luck with that. You got this. You're gonna knock it out the park. So that's pretty much it, folks. I thank all of you who were on the broadcast. For those of you who couldn't make it, I'm definitely digging StreamYard a lot more. I didn't feel that pixelation or that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do my homework, figure out what's going on. This whole StreamYard thing, how to pull people in, how to do different things, share links. I'll try to get better at that. So we'll have, a more back and forth. So, but I thank you guys for being on this live, as I'm learning and figuring all of this stuff out. I'm sure there's people who have better platforms who do this much better than I. But you choose to help a brother out and participate, and I definitely appreciate it. So thank you for giving me 40 to 45 to 47 minutes of your time. I definitely appreciate it. And you guys are all awesome. So to Zero Cool Ninja, to Michael Carter, to Zero XR92, to One Dog Geek, to my man Glenn Watson, to my brother Rich, who I can't wait to see bring some bluefish sandwiches. I thank you all for joining me on this. This has been awesome. I promise to try to get better and make this more interactive and more interesting going forward. Definitely, I want you to suggest topics and all of that kind of stuff. That'll be helpful. All right. So with that, let me see. One last thing. Thank you so much for the live, Reginald. My pleasure. So with that, let's enjoy the rest of this holiday weekend. Happy Labor Day to all of you, to all my brothers and sisters who are laborers. Thank you for what you do, building roads, bridges, keeping everything running. We really appreciate you. We really do. All right, Russ can fly. I'm out. Peace, y'all.